Hey guys, we're on lap 3 here, so just did over 2 miles so far, which is nothing really, but I remembered what the other item I ordered from Wish. It was a new digital indoor-outdoor weather station. And when I install the outdoor unit, I'm going to install a little rain shield or something for it. That way it doesn't end up like my first weather station, my solar powered one, where it got, totally tweaked out with water, flooded with water, and damaged. I'm going to see if I can show you guys that pathway into this dude's homeless shelter or bug out camp. Here it is here, I believe. He's cut a little trail in there, and it goes straight down into, you got to jump a log, and it goes straight over to the left. Where his little setup is. So we got people living in the woods already, bugged out, homeless people already, which is, I guess that's what you have to do when you don't have options, right? And he's still fairly close to the city here, where I'm at, so obviously he only comes here at night for somewhere to sleep and then to store his stuff. But, yeah, it's going to be pretty wild once they legalize weed here, because all this brush, guys, there's going to be people growing weed everywhere in Canada once that goes on. And I really do not know how they're going to control this, because they're allowing so many plants per person, but that will mean nothing, because people are just going to go out into these areas on trails and stuff and just start planting. Though it's going to reek, like all you're going to smell is weed, because it just smells like a skunk, eh? So I don't know. The humidity is brutal. I gotta say, guys, it's got to be around high 80s or 90% humidity. 100%'s raining, but it's just sticky, muggy, nasty out here. So I'm just taking my time. I'm off of work for the rest of the day, so I'm not in a rush to get this done. I'm just kind of doing a nice little walk and go from there. But yeah, so once I get the new temperature weather station hooked up in the tiny house, that'll give us a much better look at the outdoor conditions compared to the indoor conditions, now that I have the tiny house closed up a lot better with that survival blanket stuff. So, and once I get the wiring done and sealing up, that'll be the true test. But yeah, the rain's held off for now, and things are good. But I'm just taking my time, doing a nice little stroll, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's weird. Just some people could throw brush and crap everywhere. Oh, while I was listening to my MP3 player on the last video at the end, I lost my spot on the podcast. It went back to the main menu for some reason, so I didn't know where I was at. I was at 240 or something like that. So I just went to I started back at like 243 or something, and I think there's only 260 that will fit on the hard drive of this thing. So I'm almost done the entire hard drive listening to these coast to coast AM podcast recordings. Then I'll have to clear the hard drive, fill it with brand new stuff, and go from there. But most of this stuff's fairly old. It's not the recent. I can't keep up with the recent stuff because I don't have a subscription to pay for that. But they give away the older stuff for free, so at least I can get it there. They got pretty good perspectives on there of all kinds of stuff. Oh, I do want to get into the craziness going on in the U.S. right now. Now this, I may lose some subscribers or whatever for this, but talking about the subject. But this thing in Virginia where these racist groups are just like going apeshit down there with the violence and the people running people down with cars and everything. I don't know, guys. You guys there's some brainwashed people down in the U.S., man. They got the government's working. Their programs are working good down there. Apparently, from what I'm hearing, is because this is a whole thing that it's hilarious to watch the United States news, CNN and them, because it's pathetic. It's Trump came out and said everything was, he basically told everybody like quit the crap out, and he said none of these people are any good. And then the media had a field day. They said, oh, he hasn't gone far enough and all this crap. So he then did another statement, and then it got misinterpreted, and then everybody went apeshit again. And it's just feeding the fire, guys. So basically, it's insanity down in the U.S. That's why I like Canada. I like to visit the U.S., but I wouldn't want to live there, especially with the people you guys got down there like that. That's some scary, like, I know you guys can pack heat and everything, but man, those people can pack heat, and they're complete idiots. They'll take their car and just run you down. So this whole thing with, like, since Trump got elected, it's been attack Trump since the election, and it's pathetic, guys. Like, whoever's behind trying to get rid of Trump are sore losers that they lost. It's the Hillary camp, the Democrats. They lost, and they're still fighting and whining and trying to get him impeached. But you lost. You're a sore loser. Let it go. Why not just look into why you lost and fix that instead of whining like a little crybaby, you know? It's not going to get you anywhere, guys. It makes you look pathetic. And I know I'm going to get a lot of crap from some of the viewers, but I got to say this. I'm not going to go political channel on you guys, so don't worry about that. But I got to film this video and get this crap off my chest about what I'm seeing from the outside of the United States looking in. That's the news, looking in. Apparently, why all this racist and Charlotte, Virginia stuff is coming up is they're trying to make a civil war, or at least get everybody divided in the U.S. And it's a big distraction as well. And what happened is, apparently they have the Russia investigation going on, and basically they probably found zero. So now they had to come up with this goofy setup where they gotta send a bunch of hate groups out funded by George Soros to cause a bunch of crap on the news because they have zero ammunition against Trump. And the thing about calling Trump racist and all this stuff is a complete joke as well, because the dude has so many African American workers working for all his companies that how can you even say that? And there's been so many of those guys during the election period that came out and said, you know, what's going on? They told him, like, he treats me well and everything like that. Benefits, blah, blah, blah. But there you go. If you guys hear people yelling in the background, we're getting infested with Pakis here. And the migrant invasion. And it's pretty scary, boy. That's our we got a moron government, Trudeau and Wynne, bringing in all these Pakis and throwing them on welfare. And they're living better than most of these Canadian citizens. And it's pathetic too. Like the guy living in the woods there, I just showed you on the trail. That's probably not a Paki, that's probably a Canadian, you know? And he's living out in the woods with nothing. But he's actually freer than most people, freer than me, because I still got to have a day job. Oh man, that guy's got a window air conditioner in his window, and the water's just pouring down the brick. Something wrong there. Not good. I'm not gonna film it though. Something really wrong there. His entire side of his house under the air conditioner is just drenched, all the brick. That's going to cause damage eventually. But yeah, sorry about my rant here, guys. I'm just telling you how it is. This is how Canadians see it from looking outside into your country. And it's pretty sick. Like, hopefully you guys don't run into a civil war and all this. And it looks like North Korea backed down, because they know, like, whether or not it goes down or not, there's absolutely, even let's say even the U.S. gets EMP'd, that ain't gonna stop you guys from going over to North Korea and still leveling those guys with whatever means you can work with. Like if the North America gets EMP'd, or gets sent back to the 20s, I still say you guys are going to retaliate with whatever you can. And Christ, will probably be a draft, but I don't know how they're going to do that, because there's only going to be the Postal Service, and from what I know, the Postal Service is now computerized quite a bit. So imagine the mailing system after an EMP. They would have to, everything would have to go into the trash, and they will have to set up a manual system and hire a bunch of people just to get letters out back into the day, like they did horse and buggy back in the day and all that. It's going to be craziness, guys. But I'm coming back into the town here, as you can see the wires. So I'm gonna shut the video off. I'll continue on my last lap of the journey here, guys, and then that'll be my 4 miles for the day. And at least I'll be able to shoot some video while doing this and talking to you on the trail of what's on my mind. And I'm not gonna go political, like I said, guys, but I gotta get this video out there. And by the time you guys see it, this will be weeks after the fact anyway, so don't panic. See you in a bit.